Good day, family. Hope you all are having a wonderful day wherever you are and on this beautiful globe of ours. Coming to you today with another shared thought. And this shared thought is going to be a little different because I'm going to start it off with a story. The story goes like this. There was once a husband and a wife, and they were having holiday dinner. And in this holiday dinner, the husband always noticed that the wife always cut the edges off of her pot roast. So one day he says to her, "Honey, I noticed you always cut the edges off the pot roast. I was wondering why'd you do that?" And so the wife says, "Well, my mother always did it. I'm not sure why." So lo and behold, another holiday season came up and they had the opportunity to be around, his mother-in-law. So cooking's going on as usual. And as the cooking is going on, the husband comes into the kitchen and he's watching his mother-in-law cook. And so now she getting the pot roast all prepared and ready to go to throw in the oven. So she cuts the edges off. So the husband says, "Hey, I've been meaning to ask you, what's the reason that you cut the edges off the pot roast?" So the mother thinks about it for a second and she goes, "You know what? I don't know why. My mom always did it. So I figured, hey, if my mom did it, it must not be a bad thing, so I'll do it too." So lo and behold, one more holiday season comes along and they happen to be around now, the mother's mother. So once again, cooking is going on in the kitchen. Everything's getting prepared. So the husband comes into the kitchen once again. So he's watching he's watching his great mother-in-law, I guess is what you would call her. He's watching her now prepare a pot roast to put in the oven. So she puts the pot roast in the pot. She puts her little ingredients and everything on there, and so she gets ready to put the top on. He goes, wait, whoa, hold on, you're forgetting something." And she goes, "What did I forget?" He said, "You're forgetting to cut the edges." And she said, "Oh, baby, I stopped cutting the edges a long time ago. I only did that because I had a pot that was too small." Isn't that something? A lot of times we carry along these practices that we've learned from mama, daddy, grandma, grandpa, great grandma, great grandpa, for those of you that are blessed enough to have them still in your life, or or had a chance to be around them before they left. And we carry around these practices and we don't even understand, nor do we know why. All we know is, well, if mama did it, then it's good enough for me. Or if grandmama did it, it was good enough for me, without even understanding the reason why. Here it is in this story. You have, two generations carrying on a practice that was put in place because the mother didn't have a big enough pot for a full pot roast. So the question and the thought here is, how many practices are you carrying around that you've learned from your family, from your friends, from society, that are cutting the edges off of your life and not allowing you to live a full life? How do you know that those edges that you're cutting off are not beneficial to what it is that you're supposed to be doing in life? Think about that. Just, really think about that for a second. You're holding on to a practice that you got from someone else, or a belief, but we'll stick with practice, that you got from someone else, and you've applied it to your life. And now you're passing that practice on to someone else, maybe your own kids, or to, a family member's kids, and saying, well, this is what we've done, or this is what mama did, or daddy did, or whoever. This is what they did, so you should do it too, without giving them a real reason as to why. And also not looking at, well, maybe at that point in time, that was what was applicable. Whereas today, and in this time, that practice is no longer applicable. So why are you still trying to live, you know, an old practice into a new way of life? It's kind of like that saying about teaching an old dog new tricks, you know, but the difference is that none of us are old dogs. So we're always in a constant state of learning. I like to call it remembering, because I believe that, you know, we all came here and you know, we're all spiritual beings. So we kind of forgot, you know, who we are. So now it's just a reminder to let you know that you're so much more than what you really are. But just think about that though. Here it is. We have practices that we carry along, we share with people, we live ourselves in these practices, hoping and following them and saying, okay, well, this person did it, so it's got to be good enough. But does your practices apply to today? Or does your practices apply to yesterday? So this is just a shared thought. Once again, I hope that this could, you know, help someone who might be going through this struggle of maybe wondering why their life is not going any further along. Maybe it's because you're cutting edges off your life and not realizing that you don't need to, because that doesn't apply to you. So, like I said, just something to think about, something to put on your mind, something to put on your heart, something just to, you know, make you stop and pause for a moment. So, you know, once again, this has been a shared thought from your brother Leon to you, my brothers and sisters. And I always say this at the end, and I do mean it. I wish you all a very blessed day. Know that you are special, extraordinary, awesome, beautiful, wonderful, and very, very blessed creatures. Wishing you the very best today, tomorrow, and forever. Your brother.